Hello students, good morning to all of you. Today I am going to start a new poem and the name of that poem is Childhood from Hornbill and the chapter number is 6th chapter number, and at the bottom of that chapter you find the title, and the title name is Childhood, and the writer's name is Marcus Nathan. So he is this poem is written by him. Let me tell you something briefly about what the poem is about. The poem is about the lost childhood, and the poet thinks over his lost childhood, and he was asking many questions to himself, and he was thinking that the what is childhood? That childhood is innocence, and you can say that there are so many wonders during the you are child and during the childhood period, and when you become adult, that time that innocence and that unconditional love is gone. So right now the writer is talking about that what was the time and which is the day then he lost his childhood, right? And he deeply thinks over the question of his childhood, and the poet has identified some stages of his life when his thoughts and perceptions of the world is changed. So that was the day that his childhood is lost. So, and that was the day that the child believes on others and loves unconditionally. So that is the stage of childhood. So now he was making the discrimination, or you can say the separation of his changing of mind or changing of whatever the changes he found. That is the loss of childhood. So he was asking about the days to himself, and it also by asking the questions he also hints at the hypocrisy that is in our society, that you can say that the people are having the double minded, or you can say that they are wearing the mask over a face, and that's why he is saying about this. So let's start by by line explanation. So the title is Childhood. When did my childhood go? Was it the day I ceased to be 11? Ceased to be means to come to an end. End means किसी ने आपसे छीन लिया. So here the writer is talking about when did my childhood go. So now he is deeply asking over these questions again and again to himself and find out the answer. That what is the exact day? So the answer is that was it the day? Again he was asking that was the day when I was turned into 11 years old. So when I became 11 years old, that day I lost my childhood. So that is the first. Again he was asking, was it the time I realized that hell and heaven? So you know that when you are very small, hell and heaven, we heard so many stories, and we heard from our elders and from our parents or grandparents about the stories of hell and heaven, and we whatever they are telling us, we imagine on it and we believe it, that something is God is there, hell is there, heaven is there. But when you grown up, when your childhood is gone, and when you become adult, you realize that there is nothing like hell and heaven on this earth, on this planet. It's just a imaginary place, right? So he is thinking that that time when I realized hell and heaven and could not be found in geography, so that was the day when I realized this. That time my childhood lost, and therefore could not be was that the day. And that is why I am telling you that that day, maybe that day when I realized the reality of hell and heaven, and what is that? This is there is no existence on this planet and it's just an imaginary places. So when I realized this, that day I lost my childhood. So this is again in the second stanza. He was again asking the same question over and over. When did my childhood go? Okay, now again he was thinking about another thought. So these two answers were there, and here the third answer. Was it the time I realized that adults were not all they seem to be? Here he was talking about the hypocrisy of the people, and you can say that hypocrites in the society that we see. Now, what are the people of about the adults? Adults, sometimes hypocrites means what? That sometimes they are wearing a mask, or behind the mask you don't understand the exact man. Okay, so dual personality, you can also say that right now he is looking very good to you, and sometimes he is very his behavior and he is very bad person, right? So dual personality, or you can say that having a mask on a face, that they are playing the roles, right? So they are telling us, okay, so here realize, when he realized that, so what they are telling us, they are not performing to like that. Means if they are saying that the same thing all they seem to be, वो ऐसे नहीं दिखते हैं. They talked of love and preached of love, but did not act so lovingly. Okay, so पहले तो पता नहीं चलता था. When he was child, he doesn't understand that what the adults were, how the adults were, but they were talking about love and preaching about love. Okay, they are suggesting about love and sincerity and having the caring and everything, but they are not acting lovingly. So on when he realized this, छोटे बच्चे को नहीं पता चलेगा what you adults were telling and whether they are adopting that what they are saying is that. Okay, but now when he become adult, now he understands that whatever adults are telling us, they are not implying or they are not imitating that in their life. So when he come to know the hypocrites of the society, that was the day that he realized that that his childhood has gone. Okay, so three answers are there. Now the second, in the third stanza, he was talking about, when did my childhood go? Was it when I found my mind was really mine and to use whenever I choose? Okay. Now here you can see this is a very important line I can see here. When we were very small, we could not use our mind because whatever was telling your parents was telling you, you just imitate that thing or you just follow whatever the suggestions and whatever the things were spoken to you. But when you become old and when you started using your mind and when you choose your path and using your own mind, so that was the day that my childhood has gone. So poet again was asking कि ये वाला day था कि जब मैं I was doing my own work, I was listening my mind's voice and I choose whatever is going on and whatever is my suggestion. Okay, producing thoughts that were not those of others, right? It's very important. So पहले जो लोग बोलते थे हम वही सोचते थे, but now childhood has gone, so now he became adult and he can produce his own thought and he can choose that thoughts and were not those of others. दूसरे के thoughts नहीं थे. This is my own thought, but my own and mine alone and मेरे अपना अपने का था. Was that the day? तो वो वाला डे था कि मैंने अपना चाइल्डहुड लॉस किया. Where did my childhood go? Last stanza में ये बोल रहा है, I went to some forgotten place that's hidden in an infant's face. That's all I know. After asking so many questions, he got the answer also. And at last he says that I think that childhood had gone on some forgotten place. Means it is already gone because it will not come back. That's hidden. It is hidden इन एनी बेबीज फेस, किसी बेबी के फेस पर ही आपको दैट इनोसेंस वो आपको पता चलेगा, वो चाइल्डहुड आपको दिखेगा। अदरवाइज आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग एंड आफ्टर लूजिंग योर चाइल्डहुड you cannot take it back. Okay, it is already gone and it is hidden in infant's face. That's all I know. So writer बोल रहे that's all I come to know about that. Okay, now here let me tell you about that what is the rhyme scheme is used in the poem childhood, and the rhyme scheme is A B B C C D. Let's check. Okay, here आप कैसे बनाते हो, ठीक है। A यहाँ पे A आता है, then B, okay, A, sorry, A, B, B, देखो B B आया, N है, A, B, B and C, okay, तो ये वाला पूरा राइम स्कीम आपका है A, B, B, A, B, B, C, C, D, okay, अलग अलग है पूरा। ओके, तो पहले ए से स्टार्ट करना है, ये सेम नहीं है तो यहाँ पे बी आएगा, ए बी सेम है तो बी, फिर से अलग सी सी और डी, राइट। तो ये पूरा आपका राइम स्कीम है। A B, sorry, A B B C C D. Okay. Now another poetic device which is used in the poem is refrain. Now what is refrain? Refrain is a group of phrase which is repeated in the poem. Now you can see that in every stanza was started with this line, where did my childhood go? You can see here, आप हर एक stanza में आप देखोगे कि पूरा उससे ही start होता है, where did my childhood go, right? So that is the refrain, it is called refrain. So that is the poetic device is also antithesis. Now what do you mean by antithesis poetic device? When two opposite words are used together in a sentence or in a poem, so that is hell and heaven, this is the two opposite words, that is antithesis. Okay, so that is also poetic device. Now the second poetic device is, just a second. Alliteration. Now, what do you mean by alliteration? When alliteration means occurrence of same letters of sound. I am talking about at the beginning of closely connected words. Now, here you can say the time, mind, whichever way thoughts that. Right. So this is the alliteration you can use see in the poem. Another is inversion. Inversion means when the subject and verb order is reverse, अगर वो reverse में हो, so that is way I choose, right? Way I choose मतलब क्या है कि पूरा sentence क्या होता है, to use whichever way I choose, right? So that is a subject verb order is reverse. यहाँ पे पूरा subject verb order है वो पूरा रिवर्स किया है, so that is the inversion. एंजाबमेंट, वो आगे भी मैंने सिखाया था कि एंजाबमेंट इज अ फिगर ऑफ स्पीच, वहां पे फर्स्ट लाइन जो पोएम की होती है वो कंटिन्यू होती है विदाउट यूजिंग एनी पंक्चुएशन मार्क। ये मैं दिखाती हूँ आपको, मैंने पहले भी दिखाया था, बट लेट्स सी कि यहाँ पे आपका पूरा लाइन जाता है विदाउट एनी, जो देखो, producing thoughts that were not those of the people but my own and my own, यहाँ पे पूरा कोई पंक्चुएशन मार्क नहीं है, पूरा सेंटेंस चलता है, यहाँ पे खत्म होता है, तो दैट इज एंजाबमेंट आप बोल सकते हो, आगे भी होगा, लेट्स सी। ओके, दिस इज एंजाबमेंट, यहाँ पे पंक्चुएशन यूज किया है, ये लाइन में पंक्चुएशन यूज नहीं किया, सीधा यहाँ पे है, ठीक है। तो पंक्चुएशन मार्क्स अगर यूज नहीं करते हो एंड द सेंटेंस गोइंग कंटिन्यू, देन यू कैन सी दैट दिस इज द enjambment. So this type of poetic devices are used in this poem. So you can also have this in your notebook. Write down in your notebook the notes as well as the question answers and short summary, so that at the time of exam exam, you can understand it very well.